So today I want to show you how I made this Happily Ever After card, which I thought would be a beautiful way to congratulate a new bride and groom. So let's go ahead and get started. I started out with a card base that measured 8.5 by 5.5, and I went ahead and just folded that in half. The cardstock that I'm using today comes from this Latte cardstock stack, so if you want to know where my paper comes from, all of it comes from this pack. My first two layers. My first layer is this olive metallic color, and it measures 5 1/4 by 4, and the sparkly cream color that's going to go on top of it measures 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to go ahead and attach those together. And once you have that layered, I'll show you how I did our bride and groom. Here's our bride and groom, and they come from the Cricut Wedding and Marriage cartridge. The pictures are really small, but it's the very first image. It's right here, this little bride and groom, and I cut them at 3 inches and went ahead and cut out the bride and groom in the olive color and then the veil in the cream color. Now to do the train, all I did was take some of this Scotch quick dry adhesive and I just outlined the back of the train, made a couple of dots up at the top, and then I just shook some seed beads on top, and I just have some crystal ones here that I used. Really easy, really fast, and what's great about this glue is that when it dries completely clear. And then when you're done, you get this gorgeous, gorgeous effect, which I just think is so beautiful. So that's how I made the bride and the groom. Now to do the sentiment, my first green piece here measures 3.5 by 1 1/4, and the cream piece that goes on top that I stamped my sentiment on measures 3 1/4 by 1. And my stamp comes from this Fiskars wedding pack. It shows the Happily Ever After right here, and it has, I'm not really sure what the name of it is, but it has just married and I do and a lot of fun wedding themed stamps on it. So when I stamped it, all I did was take a cream piece of cardstock, have my stamp already ready to go on my little Tim Holtz thin acrylic block, and I used some Butter Pecan All Night Media Pigment ink. I went ahead and inked it up. Lined it up and pressed to get my image. Oops, I missed it a little bit, but you get the idea of what I did. Which is why I pre-stamped it, so I wouldn't have to worry about it while I was filming for you. But you can work on getting it perfect when you're working on your own. So once we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. Oops. And just kind of measure in your mind, guess, just estimate about 1/4 inch down at the bottom here. That on, and when I did my sentiment, I just used a couple of pop dots. Right about there. And then I used some of this, oh, this is so beautiful. It's this Wright's, I think it's called Mini, what's it called? Mini Decorative Braid, and it's 1/4 inch. And I just cut off 2 pieces, one longer one that's going to go on the top here, and I'm just going to use some tape to stick this down. And I want to use a whole piece because this is a little more difficult to stick than just regular ribbon. And again, I'm just going to kind of eyeball about 1/4 inch at the top here. And lay this beautiful, beautiful braiding down. And we're going to go ahead and adhere this to our card image. This is a very simple card. Once you get the bride and groom put together and your pieces cut out, it's going to go together really fast for you. And it just has such an elegant look when it's completely done. I just love it. Love how beautiful it looks. And then I went ahead and already put some pop dots on the back, and you'll notice I used some big squares and some small. And for the legs, I cut some of them in half just to make sure that I got enough dimension on my entire piece. Since this is the star attraction on our card, we want to make sure it's got plenty of dimension. I made one of these last year, well not last year, well yeah actually it was last year since it's January, but I did one in a really pretty smoky blue that turned out just gorgeous. So play around with the color a little bit and see what you like. Just gonna center this. Out there. And add a little piece of ribbon. When you add this piece, try and twist it so that it will turn the right direction for you when you go to pull it tight. And then we'll just go ahead and trim it. Oops, I twisted one and didn't twist the other. There we go. And once you've cut your ribbon, there we go, a very, very simple, beautiful, happily ever after card that you could give to a brand new wedded couple. If you have any questions, leave me a comment or a question. Thanks for watching. Bye.